welcome back to another episode, Nemson on DYSTOPIA³. And we're pretty much where we left off. I've had a little while to do a few little bits and pieces around the place. Not really got too much further ahead. I have made a few bits and pieces. I've got a few bits ready for this episode. But I haven't carried on with the automatic production of anything just yet. I'm saving that all for you guys. I hope you love me for it. It'll be great. Great. What a beautiful relationship we have. Oh, boo. Unlike me and that block. Right, well, the first thing is this wireless access booster thing. I've just made myself a load, and I can only put 16 in there at a time. So, I'm going to put another one of these wireless boosters further down here somewhere at some point and put the rest in there. That'll do the job for me. And I think I just knocked a torch out there, so I'll put that back. And one there, good measure. Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not? Right, so we set up that the quarry is going to import. We've set up the void chest, so it's voiding out all the materials as fast as we don't want them. This is now presumably finished. It looks like it's almost finished with the quarrying, so the quarries haven't been reset. I'm going to set those up once I've got some basic processing sorted out. And the first thing that we're going to do basic processing is send some stuff back to base when we don't need it. So we're going to need to get ourselves an item tesseract even, and a precision export bus so that we can get that underway. I think I'm only going to need one precision export bus for now, so we'll leave that there. So this is, so we've got incoming, we've got voiding out, and then we've got outgoing. So I'll put the outgoing on the end here like this, and we'll stick this on top like that. So now that's set up. The tesseract goes on the private send only supplies to HQ, and we set that frequency. Now things that we're going to send to HQ, we're going to have the quartz to HQ and the quartz dust to HQ. We're going to send the diamonds to HQ because we don't need any of that. We're going to send the saplings to HQ. We're going to send the spruce wood to HQ. Oh look, quarries have started finding bits again. Must be near bedrock level or something. So let's start with these essentials that we're going to send off to HQ. The diamonds and all of the lovely wood and spruce. Those things we want to get rid of out of the system down here, but we want to make them available as quickly as possible to the base so we can get it sorted out. You see, at the minute it's traveling one item at a time. If I set that up to do a stack at a time, then the system will take up a lot more power. But to clear the system out, let's just give it a good burst and let it just clear out fast. So it should start clearing all this lot out fairly quickly. But at the other end, we should see that the A system is gathering it all fairly quickly. We've got diamond, spruce, and wood. Maybe the system back at base needs a bit of a tweak so it can accept it faster. Because these don't seem to be going down anywhere, do they? We'll see. I'll tweak with that and see what we have to do. Maybe I need another port. So let's mark up a bit of a space just so that I've got a bit more room to return stuff and have this section all a bit separate. So the next section we're going to work on is going to be the first part of basic processing of materials that we need. Now, there is plenty availability for me to put cobblestone into a pulverizer and make sand. Okay, that's cool. So we'll set something up with that, which means I'm going to need an export bus, but not necessarily precision. I'm going to need a basic export bus for that. Okay, and I'm going to have an interface on there for receiving it back into the system. So that's going to be for the cobblestone to go out. cobblestone into a pulverizer, pulverizer into a basic interface, and so on, right? Or that way around. So we're going to set that up. Then we're going to make gunpowder to mix with the sand to make TNT, because the basics of almost everything in our missile mod, IBCM. Okay, maybe I need capitals. IBCM. Have I got this set? No. Okay. ICBM. That might work better. There we go. Derping. So the basics of all missiles, including the missile module, fuel. Yeah, we can sort that out in a bit. Steel and all that. Yeah. And as soon as you turn it into a missile, you need condensed explosives for pretty much every missile, which is TNT. So we're going to need to make the TNT. Now the first thing I want to do is craft this up. I could do it redstone and gunpowder and not need the sand. So I could do it both ways, which would be fun, I suppose, to give it a chance, because we're not going to use the redstone for anything else. So yeah, we got much redstone at the minute? I don't think we have we? Let's get a precision export bus. Precision. Have I got a precision here? Yes, I have. Where is it? Precision import, basic export, basic import, storage. There they are. Right, we'll have one of those, and we'll set that to always craft as well. I'm going to need 2 blank patterns for this recipe. I'm going to need a piece of gunpowder for it, and also a piece of redstone for it. And we are going to need the pattern encoder first off. So the pattern encoder I'm just going to dump over here just because I can, just because it's there and I can use it whenever I want. So now we're going to get some sand, and we've got the gunpowder, that and that and that. Actually, we don't want the sand straight away. We want to put in where's the sulfur? Sulfur and coal. It's going to be another thing to make the gunpowder in the first place. So the pattern here, the first encoding, we're going to have that and that makes TNT in code. So that is going to tell us that we can make TNT that way. We do need the sand. I lied. Sorry viewers, I lied to you. We're going to need to get rid of this pattern, and we're going to need to make our gunpowder pattern, which is that, I think. This is a vanilla recipe. I should know this one. There we go. Clear it. Make sure that we got that right before we set it again. Derpy derpy derp. Gunpowder. There we go. Cool. Right, so now we encode that one. So there's 2 recipes for making gunpowder to make TNT. Now we need a recipe to make gunpowder in the first place. That's another thing that we need. So let's get these other blank patterns. Let's just dump all of these blank patterns in here because we'll need them all eventually. Cracking the thunder down! Cracking the thunder down. I think it's a piece of coal with sulfur all the way round it makes gunpowder in code. Thank you. Okay, clear. Right, so now we've got the pattern for gunpowder and the pattern to make gunpowder into TNT. We can begin to process what we got here. So this is not simple, but I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, and I think I know what I'm doing. The element here is think I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to need the power conduits as well to bring some power up into this pulverizer. There we go. Let's get that in there. So do I want to bring it out and up to keep a line there so I can walk through? Yes, I do. Okay, so let's do it this way then. And up. No, okay. Let's go up this way. So we're going to bring the power power, power, power from there. So we're going to go up here like this, and on top of that we're going to place this pulverizer, and that pulverizer should start receiving power from the fuel system straight away. Okay, that's good. The next thing we're going to want is an interface, and the interface is going to go on this side here, and that's going to connect up to the AE system in a minute. It's not quite ready yet. This we want to set up to output from the pulverizer everything it gets into that section there, and everything else in there can go down. I'm not sure exactly if there's a byproduct of this. Yeah, gravel. So I'm going to leave that one space underneath it, which I accidentally made to get rid of the extra gravel that we want. Or actually, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to change that. I'm going to dirt my way through this episode one way or another. I'm going to have it so that it gets rid of everything into that direction. So that's going to be all of the above. Nothing goes down, nothing goes out the back, nothing goes to that side. Input's going to be from the top, and output is all to the side. So whatever it receives, it will process and shoot out that way. Now we're going to put a basic export bus on the top of it, and that's going to get connected up to the AE system, and we're going to export cobble into that. Okay, so the cobble's going to come in. All I have to do is connect it up, and whatever isn't being voided out will go into here. Okay, the sand version of making it is there, look. So we don't always need all that sand, but when we've got sand, it should make it using sand first off, or at least it'll try. So whichever it's got the most of, sand or gunpowder, it will make TNT that way. So this then becomes a crafting recipe that I need to put in a precision export bus, and I'm going to put that on the top as well, I think. Now this one we are going to export, let's see, we're going to export the gunpowder and TNT into the system. Now the reason I'm doing this is so that the system constantly produces TNT for us. So what I really need is a produced piece of TNT. That's not there though, so I can't do it just like that just yet. Where's my basic cables? Basic cables, there we go. So let's hook this up over here. So we've got that going into that like that. That goes into both of them at the same time there. So now that's all on the network. So that should start receiving cobblestone and things like that as it needs to. This void chest will also receive cobble. Once it's coming in thick and fast, it should make all the sand we need. And this one here can't be set to anything yet. It's going to be always craft items. Okay, so you'll see how this works in a minute. This is potentially genius, and potentially it's not going to work at all. So for a start, this crafting molecular chamber, we are going to tell it how to make gunpowder. So there, it's showing how to make gunpowder. We are going to show it how to make TNT from gunpowder, and we're going to show it how to make TNT from gunpowder and sand. We're going to give it all of those recipes so it makes as much TNT as humanly possible whenever it is possible to make it. Okay. Next, we're going to go into our crafting here and craft ourselves some TNT. We're going to craft 2 pieces. Begin. Why not? So now it's crafted itself TNT. Out of thin air, it has figured out how to craft it. It's crafting gunpowder as well, so we could craft 10 gunpowder. There you go, it started crafting some gunpowder. It's actually made it in groups of 3 because the recipe in here tells us that you make 3 with that sulfur and coal. Now, the fun bit. Now we want to make it so that it automatically... Oh, damn this food supply. I'm going to have to sort that out at some point as well. Now we're going to make it so that this here feeds TNT directly into the system. So it's always crafting the item. It's always pumping TNT through here into the system. So you saw how I called up and asked it to make me TNT. Well, now when I go back, it's probably going to say, we've got all the TNT in the world now, look. It's just going to continuously be trying to export TNT into the system. Right? So now the TNT should be constantly being crafted up. However, it doesn't look like the TNT is going anywhere, does it? Maybe because it's just going to be stuck in this processing system, look. It needs to have this configured to actually have something in it. So, yeah, there we go, look. It's not actually hooked up to the system at the minute. It's just making as much TNT as humanly possible by crafting it for us. So we'll bring a... Let's put this wooden block in there behind it. It looks a bit ugly, but let's do that. And let's connect that back up to the AE system like that. That means we don't really need that one in there, do we? Let's take that out then. Okay, so now this will be taking every TNT and all the sand that we put into there from the pulverizer and from this auto crafting it all, and putting it into the system. So we should see the system start to produce TNT constantly. 52, yeah, there we go. And for some reason it stopped making the gunpowder at 5, potentially because there's no sand left. So the other recipe that we want to get it is going to be the problem. It's choosing to do the sand recipe rather than doing the redstone recipe. So let's change that around. Let's see if we can force it to use the recipe to make gunpowder from redstone. Was that right? Let's have a look. So at the minute, it's trying to make that recipe. So we take that one out, then that's the only recipe it knows. Let's just replace it. 8 gunpowder and 1 redstone makes that. Okay, so technically we probably don't need that sand there, but we might use it anyway. So let's see now, that's trying to make TNT 46. So there's not 2 different types of TNT 46, like 2 different types of TNT. 52, yes. So for some reason it's not taking the redstone, like so, with the gunpowder around it, like so, because it's not making any more gunpowder. Why is it not making any more gunpowder? Ah, let's make it make gunpowder for us. There's the thing. So we will tell it also to always craft gunpowder and put gunpowder into here as well, and see if that works. So now it's crafting gunpowder automatically. It's still not crafting TNT automatically. Seems to have a problem with this redstone gunpowder combo. I mean, it's going through all this sulfur and this coal, and it's making tons and tons of gunpowder for us automatically using the system. But it stopped making the TNT for us using the same system. So let's go back into this again. Let's take out the TNT and let's see if we can craft some TNT or bring some TNT in again and reset it, sort of restart the system. So we've got 51 in there at the minute. Let's see if we can reboot it and tell it to get on with putting this in here. Let's autocraft TNT for me, please. Constantly craft it whenever you can. And let's see. Still that 52. Curiouser and curiouser. For some reason, it's not taking the gunpowder and redstone method for making TNT. Maybe the AE system doesn't recognize that recipe. Maybe that's a slight problem with the mod. Even though I've given it that recipe there, 8 gunpowder plus 1 redstone equals TNT, it's not doing it that way round. If we put that one back in, and I think if you pulverize sandstone, does it turn back into sand? Let's have a look. Let's check that out. So, pulverize a piece. Does it come back up with sand? Maybe. Let's just stick it all in then. Right, so I've still got that asking for TNT and gunpowder all the time. We've now taken out the recipe that I don't think it likes. And it is making TNT as it gets sand, you see. Curiouser and curiouser. So let's work round that, as it's a problem. AE system doesn't like that recipe for some reason. Let's work around that by adding the sandstone into there. So sandstone automatically gets added into this and turns back into sand. So any sandstone we dig up will go into there. But really, 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 I want cobblestone, don't I? I want the cobblestone. Let's go back a stage. Let's get the gunpowder and all that sort of stuff out of there. Let's put that back into the AE system. There's always little problems like these things. Nothing to worry about though. Nothing we can't figure out. That's the thing about it all. We can figure these things out. Sulfur's going down and the coal is going down. When the sulfur and the coal runs out, then it'll stop producing the gunpowder. But it's now producing a shed load of gunpowder. It's just not able to do that. It's just using the sand to make TNT. We're getting a little bit of something spare out of that as well. That's cool. We can send that back to base though, I should think. Right then. So that's making TNT for me automatically. Not very efficiently, I happen to add, because for some reason it refuses to take that recipe. I am a little bit confused. Let's put it up there. And let's see, is it doing anything more with that now? It's going up rapidly now, look. Now I've re-entered that pattern. It's now crafting quickly, and it's using the redstone and the gunpowder to make it. Maybe I didn't have enough gunpowder in there in the first place. Maybe that was the problem. Needed a quick restart. But now, as you can see, we are crafting TNT as fast as we could possibly be mining the ingredients. So when I change that back to cobble to make sand, instead of sandstone making sand, then the TNT will have 2 methods of being made. Gunpowder and redstone, and the sulfur and coal that we dig up will make the gunpowder. And that should keep the gunpowder total down to 0, but our TNT total up to absolutely maximum. Which is good. There we go. Now we've got the basic component for all of the missiles we need. The next basic component is... where's the thing? Missile modules. We're going to need to get the fuel buckets and the steel sorted out. This basic circuit's going to be a bit more of a problem because we need copper and wool and all that. But we've got to work on stage by stage. And this current stage is going to be the missile module. Basic circuits are going to be a big problem, a big issue. We're going to need to make some form of sheep farm to get that going. But for now, I'm just going to add wool into the system manually. Steel, we can make steel. We can make steel with a there's a thing where we put coal and iron together. So we're going to end up doing something with iron next to make the iron ore turn into iron, and then turn the iron into steel. So give me a minute. I'm gonna eat some melon. As you can see, I need a munch. So I'm gonna munch on a packet of melons, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're back with some more building and derping, and this bit here we're gonna have a couple of devices, a pulverizer and a powered furnace, and I think we're gonna have it so that the power comes underneath again. I think that's a good thing. I like that idea, so let's pop them in down here. Let's get this down, and let's get this done before the end of the episode. So we're going to need to bring up power to both devices. So let's bring it up like that, and put the wood back. Now the pulverizer and the powered furnace. I want the powered furnace to be outputting into this block again, and I want the pulverizer to be outputting into the powered furnace. So the pulverizer is going to output everything from the top slot into there. We're going to have nothing exiting from any other angle. We're going to receive from the top, so that's going to be blue. Nothing's going to go that way. So everything's going to go into the powered furnace. Now I want to make sure that that's only that, and see if anything comes up. I don't think pulverizing iron ore makes anything like that, but we're going to do that anyway. So now we need to connect that up to the AE system, and that's just a simple connection like that. We're going to want to get some iron ore from the system, so let's quickly open this up, get some iron ore. Iron ore, there we go. And the iron ore, it is going to go straight into there. So export iron ore, and the iron ore goes in. Yep, we're going to do it just a basic export bus because we just want to keep it full all the time. So that's going to process the iron ore. The iron ore is going to go there, then the iron ore is going to go into the powered furnace. So it's coming from that side. We want to get rid of all of the other possible options there, and the output's going to be on this side. So all pulverized iron, which that's another load, is going to go straight back into the AE system. So I should see iron ingots arriving in the AE system. There we go. I'm going to take one of those, and I'm going to take one piece of coal as well. And we're going to go to our pattern provider once again, and this time we're going to encode the steel recipe. Is it this way? No, it's not that way. It's the other way around. Let's take that out, put that and that away. We go there, clear, get that, get that, get that, get that, get that. And that's what we want. Encode that. That's the steel pattern. So that's the next thing. Now I still want to get some export into this system here. So I think I'm going to need another thing, because this powered furnace is probably going to be running quite regular going into there. So if I have an AE pattern crafting things for me, I really need to have it going into another furnace. So we get another powered furnace and another interface. And precision export bus. Precision export bus I need because we want to tell it to do crafting, and basic export buses don't do that. And we're going to bring that over here a little bit more. So let's bring this up around here. More crafting, more crafting. Okay, so quickly get this in here. Actually, scrap that. Let's derp that around some other way. Do that. Okay, so we will stick a interface and a powered furnace down. The powered furnace we're going to stick here. And actually I didn't need that, so we'll get rid of that as well. There you go. And the interface we're going to stick this side of it. The powered furnace is going to output to that side, not any other side, not going down, not going to the back. It's going to have an import from the top, which is going to be precision, and we're going to have that there. We are going to then connect this back up to the AE system there, and we're also going to connect it up to this here, like so, right? And this is going to be set to export that all the time. So that's going to go into there as fast as it possibly can. However, it doesn't know yet. Oh, that's a good point. It doesn't know how to do it yet. So we're going to do always craft items. Or should we do it single items and craft? Single item, stack of items. Single items and craft. We'll do that. Because that way if there's anything in the AE system that is craftable, or it's already made, it'll do it for me. So, where's this? Here it is. That can go in there. So now it will automatically make steel dust. In theory, it shall automatically make steel dust, and we shall see that this is creating steel dust. There we go. So it's now making steel dust from iron ingots. And then it is automatically putting it through the powered furnace and making steel for me. So let's go and have a look, see how much steel we've got in the AE system now. And that is this stage, this episode. So 7 at the minute should keep going up, and the iron should also keep going up. We've about run out of gunpowder because the sulphur's run out now until I start the quarries again. But TNT, I've got 632 after this episode. Steel's going up nicely. Iron should be processing fairly quickly. I think I might need another pulverizer on the go for the iron ore. May need to add another couple in actually, just to make sure it's real fast. But there we go. I'll add that old steel in there, and that should keep going up. That's it for this episode, guys. I've still got loads to do, so expect another episode soon. We've got another section underway. It's automatically going to be doing all of the doings to make the basics to get us into the missile modules, getting the steel ready for the missile modules. Fuel buckets, basic circuits, all that sort of stuff coming up in the next episode. See you in a bit, guys.